What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, this is just some makeup therapy. As you can see, I don't even have a traditional intro. I go by G.LorelleMakeup. You can call me Gabby or Gabrielle. So to start off, I did do one eye off camera, you guys. I am going in with another one of the Morphe priming cream eyeshadows in the shade Debut. So as I mentioned in my last video, I did pick up the two lighter shades. I used Airplay in the last video and Debut in this one. So before we jump into the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, y'all. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Now, today's eyeshadow palette is very obvious. I am going in with the Morphe Python Code eyeshadow palette. I definitely feel like this one and Sky-Fi, which is the one that I tried first, those two were the main palettes that were calling my name. I still have yet to decide. I feel like I have maybe I have about maybe 4 more of the eyeshadow palettes that I did not pick up in my cart at Ulta, but I'm trying to decide, do I want to just grab 1 more, 2 more? I don't know. I'm not really in a rush because I still have 2 more eyeshadow palettes that I purchased within this purchase that I haven't used yet. So I don't know. I'm kind of waiting, but nonetheless, you guys, how has your week been going so far? It is Thursday with me filming this. I literally came home from work and I was like, I just want to do a video. I wanted to do some makeup therapy. I've been feeling a little not so cute. And that's a me issue, right? It has nothing to do with anyone else or anything like that, but I just haven't been feeling put together. And again, it's still I don't know. I just feel like I have to maybe stop hitting the snooze button in the morning because I don't like feeling rushed now that I have to go back into the office. And I have been feeling very rushed this week, so I haven't really had time to do my makeup. So I definitely wanted to come home and plan some makeup, but I am definitely showing you guys throughout this what colors I'm using in the palette. But again, I hope you all have been having an amazing week. Hope your weekend is just as beautiful. So again, this is the Python Code eyeshadow palette from Morphe. Now, I have been seeing a lot of people complain about like the kickback in the palette when you're picking up the color with your brush. I've been seeing that mainly over on TikTok. But what I will say, me personally, with applying this, especially this shade right here, it is more of a glitter shade, which can be, known for fallout. I feel like I don't notice much fallout on my under eye area. So that to me is a good thing. I don't mind the kick up in the pan when you're dipping your brush in there. But I just feel like as long as it blends out nicely on the eyes, there's no patchiness, there's no skipping, there's no, the colors are blending well together. To me, that is what matters. Fallout is it could potentially happen, especially if something is very pigmented. And in this case, I feel like you get a nice amount of pigmentation for the price point. So I have no complaints. As you saw, I did take that more gold duochrome shade and pop that in that inner corner, like that tear duct area. And so now we can go ahead and get into the base. Actually, before we jump into the base, I went ahead and I swatched like that metallic shade that's in the inner corner. I swatched that on my, well, not swatched it, but I picked it up with my finger just to see if the level of intensity changes with me applying that color with my finger. As you guys saw in my last video, I did do the wet method because that is also a way that these duochrome shadows are supposed to be used. You use them with a wet brush. So that is what I did in the last video. I wanted to just apply these regularly, no wet base, no glitter glue or anything like that. And I'm just taking my one size liquid eyeliner. This is just in the shade black. I think they only have black and brown. Very easy to work with. And then I will do the lash, my lashes, and finish up the eyes at the end. So you guys, this is the primer that we used. I had already primed before going in and finishing the last eye on camera. So I wanted that primer to be able to have time to sit. And this is the Morphe Light Form Foundation in the shade 16 Neutral. Um, this Hourglass primer is actually bomb. And then I was looking at it because my pump stopped working, and I noticed that this primer, a lot of people complain about the pump, and it looks like there's a lot more product in here. So we're all kind of like, why is the pump not working? Well, I looked inside of it today because it looks like I have a decent amount of primer left. I'm starting to feel like the primer is not filled all the way to the top, because I'm like, I don't think I used that primer that much. Although I really did like it. I feel like it gives more smoothing property, not necessarily like mattifying or pore filling, but it just makes the skin look smooth where you apply that primer. Um, it will definitely be one that I would repurchase personally. It's not nothing life changing, but I just like it for me. All right, you guys, this is a concealer that I've never tried before, and I wanted to try it. It has been sitting on my vanity. This, did I say primer? I meant concealer. This is the Thread Beauty Concealer. I do have the shade number 3. And then I'm going in first. I realized once I applied the concealer, I did not cream bronze or cream or liquid blush myself. So I had to hurry up and go do that. Now, I should have known from looking at the concealer in the packaging that this was a thick formula. So I was getting a little nervous because I'm like, I did not, I was afraid of this drying down too much to where I couldn't blend it out. For the blush, this is the liquid blush from Juvia's Place in the shade Soft Tulip. I have just about every color. I did declutter one of the shades, and it was that very, very deep purple plumish shade. Because just being realistic with myself, I bought it just supporting Juvia's Place. I was excited when these first launched. But those deeper blush shades, obviously it's not geared towards every skin tone. But that's one thing that I would say that I love about Juvia's Place, is the fact that it's inclusive enough to where it is a shade for everybody. So, but I did declutter that shade because, especially for me, if I don't know how to use it, like that very deep purple plum shade, it looked like I had a bruise on my face the one time that I did try to use it. But I know that it's because, obviously it was probably too dark for me, and that's okay. But that was the only one of these that I decluttered. So I'm setting with the Laura Mercier talc free powder. This is in the shade Translucent. This has been sitting on my vanity this week. I've been trying to rotate the products that are sitting on my vanity to kind of show every different product some love. But this, to me, their talc free Laura Mercier is a lot better, in my opinion, than the original Laura Mercier powder. So I am next going to set the perimeter of my face, as I always do, with a more pressed powder. This is the Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder in the shade 332. I do see a lot of people using this Maybelline powder to kind of use on a powder puff and set their under eyes as like more of a brightening. I just can't figure out what shade I'm supposed to use to set for like a brightening effect. But I do have a little powder quad that I'm going to use at the end of this video. I feel like that concealer was very bright, so I really did not need anything else to brighten. But now going in with powder bronzer. This is another product that I feel like I just don't utilize, and it is the Made by Mitchell bronzer book. I'm not 100% sure if this is still on Beauty Bay's website. I do know Made by Mitchell does have a TikTok shop. So if you would like to shop through that and get some of his products a lot faster than maybe Beauty Bay or even his website, that is an option as well. But I feel like this is definitely perfect, especially for like makeup artists. This is his blursh. He says blursh. He calls it blursh. But this is his blursh palette volume 2, or blursh book volume 2. And I am just going to kind of take like one of those more pinky tone colors and apply that to the cheek area. I typically would have done an orange blush with this eye look, but once I realized the shade that I picked up on the brush, I was like, that's it. You're here now. It's fine. But I do feel like with this eye look, a more peachy coral type of blush would have done good. But I feel like it didn't look bad, or it didn't look like it clashed with the shade that I decided to use. Now again, everything that I used in today's video is going to be listed in the description box. This is one of the Morphe duo-ended eyeliners, and I just ran that on the waterline, and then I am going to pretty much take that brown shade in the Python Cold palette, and I'm just going to smudge that on the lower lash line. It's been a really long time since I've smudged like eyeshadow on the lower lash line. Sometimes lately, like more recently in the past, when I would do like an eyeshadow look, I would just kind of do the lid area, lower lash, mascara, and an eyeliner, and call it a day. So again, I just personally feel like I genuinely do love the fact that these palettes came out, because it kind of brought that fun glam back to makeup, which I do feel like it has gotten lost. And I've been seeing a lot of people say how they've been getting bored with their makeup, with all of the neutrals, the browns, just the safe makeup. It is safe. And I feel like it's crazy, because I do feel like when I go outside like this and I have on a full glam, example, the other day when I posted my first like testing new makeup with the first Morphe palette, the Sky-Fi, I went to Walmart, y'all, after that video, and these two women were just like staring at me, and it was just like at first I felt awkward. I'm like, what is going on? But then it's like, okay, I got on a full glam eyeshadow, and you like, girl, you in Walmart. But to me, it does not matter. I promise, it does not matter where I am. I just feel like I love to look put together. But I just feel like people are so afraid of color nowadays. So I just felt like me going into Walmart with a full glam, everybody was kind of looking at me like, girl, what are you doing? But I felt cute. Um, this is the old Morphe E60 fan brush for highlighter. And when I tell you, she's about to be in heavy rotation, because I love the way that it applies the highlighter on the cheeks. I did use my Rare Beauty Exhilarate, and I don't know. I just used it Monday. She was not broke. Now she's broke. So I don't know how that happened, when that happened, if one of my kids was in my room when I went to work. I am so mad about that. But I did hear a lot of people, that was a complaint that I felt like a lot of people have with that highlighter, is that it easily breaks. And then now we are just finishing up with the lip combo, and I am of course going to set the face down with some setting sprays. I honestly feel like that is my next task, and it might be today. I want to go through all of my setting sprays, because I feel like I have so many that I just honestly do not use at all. I have my old faithfuls, I have my favorites and all of that stuff, but I just feel like the ones that I don't use, that I don't gravitate towards, or not that they're necessarily bad, I just don't use them and they're just sitting. So I personally just feel like I am ready to kind of clean through some makeup, y'all. Like, I know I'll say I'll declutter here and there, or I'll give stuff away that I haven't used, or if foundations are too light or just don't match me, I'll find somebody to kind of give them to. Mainly, I give a lot of stuff to my mother, but I just really feel like there are some makeup products that I'm just like, girl, just let it go. Just get rid of it, let it go, because I'm not using it. And then when I get rid of stuff that I know I'm not using, within like a month or two, I'll try to go and repurchase it. And it's like, I also need to stop doing that, because again, that is very wasteful. Like, I don't need it. So I think I'm going to go and tackle the setting sprays today. I'm also going to tackle, even though it's going to be hard for me, I'm going to tackle primers, because I'm personally just sticking to the same primers. With me having oily skin, to be very honest, the One Size Oil Sucker primer has been my everyday go-to. I feel like it does not steer me wrong. I honestly feel like it does not matter how hot it is or anything, that T-zone with that oil sucker primer, it just does not budge. So that has honestly been my go-to primer for me, having an oily T-zone area. So this is the powder that I was telling you guys about. Don't mind my baby in the backyard with his Simon from the Chipmunks glasses. But this is the Made by Mitchell Eye Lights. This is like a quad palette to brighten and set the under eyes. And this one is in the shade Sunlight. So again, I feel like I didn't really need it, but it just adds that little touch of a brightening powder. And these are the two setting sprays that I'm going to go in with, you guys. First, with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This has been in heavy rotation for me lately as well. And it just kind of melts those powders down. And then to really lock everything in, I'm going in with the L'Oreal 3-second setting mist, which is more of that transfer proof, you know, all of that good stuff. That is what this spray does. I also saw someone on TikTok say they don't feel like the One Size Until Dawn setting spray lives up to the hype. And that's so crazy. And I really do want to test that out and do a review for you guys. All right, you guys, this concludes today's makeup look. So I personally really do like these Morphe eyeshadow palettes. This is the second palette that I've used. I did review one of the palettes in my last video, pretty much testing new makeup, but this palette is beautiful. I feel like it gives smoky, but at the same time, with a pop of color. I feel like this is still a wearable look even with color. And I just personally feel like you are going to have some people that love it or hate it. I personally felt like it was very refreshing to see some new eyeshadow releases, because a lot of the eyeshadow releases that we see mostly now are from like small indie brands, online only. You can walk into Ulta and pick these up and they are not hurting your pocket. So to me, it was a refreshing launch. Just like with Morphe's blush trio, to me it was very refreshing. It doesn't matter who they duped. I feel like everybody is duping everybody, you know. Everybody's got a lip balm, everybody's got lip oil now. So many different brands are pretty much mimicking, but how can I make it better? How can I make it more affordable? How can I make my product stand out? And I just personally feel like with Morphe's blush trios, they are beautiful, vibrant colors, but they are not overly pigmented to where it's too much getting packed on at one time. I love their blush trios because you can build up the intensity, and I also love them because, again, they are more affordable. So it was definitely refreshing to see that launch, and then to see the launch of 10 eyeshadow palettes from Morphe. So I'm really excited about it. I love that this brown eyeshadow in this palette in particular, the Python Cold palette, it's brown, but it's more on the cool tone. If it will focus, it's more of like a cool tone brown, if you will. So it just really adds a nice touch to the eye look. Again, a lot of these products, all of the products I will have listed in the description box, because a lot of these were products, especially like my lip combo today. I can't even tell you the last time I picked up my Juvia's Place lipsticks. And so it's crazy because looking at like the sticker on the bottom, it honestly looks different from the actual lipstick. Usually the stickers on the bottom on the Juvia's Place lipstick kind of show you the color that you're getting. It definitely looks a little bit different. So initially I'm like, it may be pull a little cool tone, but it's fine nonetheless. I still feel like it's a nice lip combo overall. But this is it for today's video, you guys. I hope you all truly enjoyed. Thank you for sticking around with me with my little makeup therapy. And I hope you all stay safe, be blessed, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.